Good morning, everyone. This is Brad Matheny. Boy, what a crazy day yesterday, huh? Okay, let's go over the data. And first and foremost, let me talk to you about this big washout low. Okay, this is a this is a 4 hour chart. Let's go to a daily. And I want you to remember here that, we do not normally see bars like this. Okay. In my lifetime, I've only seen a couple of bars that represent this type of a downward move. So, what was this yesterday? Do you think this was the fact that, lost 3% in one day? Do you think this was the fact that the Fed decided to, what was it yesterday, lower rates and then telegraph that they were going to become less aggressive at lowering rates in 2025? Do you think it was a do you think it was all related to the Fed? Or again, what changes? Nothing changes yesterday. Everything is potentially changing in the future. What changed, in my opinion, yesterday, causing the markets to crash like this, was the unwinding of capital in these elevated positions. Remember, I had been indicating that we were going to fall down to this anomaly level, and it's a balance of capital. In fact, I'd shown you. In fact, I'm going to get over here and try to do it again. Let me see if I can get to it. Nope, not there, not there. So I'll just have to go here and back up a little bit. So we go here, we go here, and then we go here, and then here, and here we go. So now I'd shown you these before, and these are some of the custom indexes that I present to my subscribers. And what they are, this is all trading view, but I have built these custom index features, what I call custom indexes, which are measurements to help me understand what's going on in the market. This happens to be the volatility index weekly chart. The very, very elevated, bullish, but extremely elevated as of last Friday, and very likely to have a very sharp breakdown. Now, I guarantee you this week, as of right now, after yesterday's move, it's down here near the 11, 12, 15 area, somewhere down in this area. We also have a number of other indexes reflecting leading index was weakening, moving downward. The smart money index, which I've highlighted, was trending lower. Let me find it real quick. Smart money index is right here. Had been moving downward, and I had indicated that we would likely see some sort of a broad pullback. Now, remember, where are we on this SPY chart? We're no longer at 604. We're down here in the 586, 587 area, likely to try to move downward. But these indicators literally have been clearly presenting market dynamics very, very aggressively. In other words, these have been very clean, very forward looking in presenting what was likely to come. And again, it gives us a heads up. We're not trying to accurately predict the future 100% of the time, because that's impossible. What we're trying to do is read the markets more effectively so that we can trade more effectively. Otherwise, take a dart, draw a long or short on the wall and throw it and see what you can do, because that's about what you're going to end up with if you don't have these types of tools to present some sort of a guidance as to what's happening. And I truly do believe that my research is beyond what others have been able to do. Remember, I am predicting not only through my cycle patterns over here. Oh, where are we here? Predicting what's coming, which today is forming a topping pattern. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that topping pattern to see where we're moving again. And now what we're going to be looking at is a rolling top pattern, which is probably going to be, if I come down here to the hourly chart and we can go ahead and take a look at this after hours if you want, or I can take a look at the ES. The ES has the after hours. We should be looking at something like a top moving up into this area and then potentially rolling downward again. So what we're looking at in this move is some sort of a topping formation rolling like this into potentially early morning trading. So now if I were to, this is 15-minute, let me go to hourly. So what we're looking at here, we're not going to get back up to these levels. We're more than likely going to find some sort of a top over in this early morning trading and then rolling downward. Okay, and I'm probably drawing it too long hourly here, but rolling like this. Some kind of a top early in the morning, maybe around the 600 area. Let's go back to the SPY and let's come in here to symbol extended hours. So here's our SPY on extended hours. And what we're looking at is a topping pattern, possibly around this 595 area, and likely moving up and rolling into a top back down towards these lows. And I really do think that ultimately we're going to come down to this 584, maybe 580 area as a low. It just makes sense. Let me explain to you how it makes sense. Come back here to daily. And so when we can take a look at just this low and understand that we're coming right down into this lower area, 584, and then we come down to potentially try to fill this gap, which puts us down here at 577. So when we look at this apex area right across this area here, across this resistance, this puts us at roughly 579, 580, big, bold, green dashed line. That's my target number. Okay. I think that 580 level, 579, 580 is going to be a very realistic basing and bottoming zone. And remember, I had been talking to you about this for months, about the potential for an anomaly event, the potential for a pullback, the potential for a deep downward move, which could put us back into this lower range, and that I would be looking for buy opportunities. Put that back. Buy opportunities down in this area. I want you to realize that this is very clearly a very solid opportunity once we get down into these areas. And again, that we're likely going to have these other opportunities lining up right over here. So again, I'm not too overly aggressive to try to buy into the market right now. We do have that potential topping pattern setting up right around the end of the year, December 31st. We could see a deep roll downward, moving back up into this 590, 594 area, rolling back into a deeper low. So let me try to draw it for you. Given today's or yesterday's activity, we could see this deep low down into this area, back up to this area, rolling back down maybe into this area before we find some support. So let me make that a bright, a bright yellow there. So let me get rid of some of these other lines. Trying to give you a clear expectation, but remember, I change my research, don't really change it. I update my research as I move forward. Okay. And that's really the bottom line. So this was our anomaly range, our original anomaly range here. We got right to the end of it and we broken down. Now we're in this rotation. So as I drew these price bars, I'm not going to redraw them here. We would be looking for a base or a bottom somewhere around the 26th or the 27th of December, rolling into a nice little peaking pattern over here around the 31st, maybe around the 1st, 2nd, 3rd of January, and then rolling down into a deeper low, potentially back here around the 22nd. Okay. So be aware that we're looking kind of for a low down in this. I'm looking for a low kind of down in this area that's going to be our deep, deep low. This is the low I think that we could be setting up here in the next couple of days before Christmas, and then really rolling back up here into the end of the year. So in theory, this is a good example of what it would look like moving downward. Very solid, rolling downward type of a pattern, rolling right into Christmas, rolling right up into this end of the year topping pattern, rolling back down into the low here in near the inauguration. So be aware. I think this is a pretty solid outcome. I hope you guys were able to take advantage of this big 1 day move. It unwound, literally, it unwound weeks worth of upward price activity in 1 day, and it was stupendous, absolutely stupendous. By the way, love all the comments. I've been getting emails and messages on TradingView. Love it, you guys. That's what I'm doing out here. Hopefully, I'm helping. Remember, this is all about trying to make you guys better traders and teach you guys how to use these tools more efficiently. So remember, check out my profile, send me a message, let me know what you think. Send me a private message if you want. That's all fine. I'm here to try to help. Okay, QQQ is going to be doing the same thing. Basically rolling. This is a extended hours chart. So you can see how I mark these low levels. I'm going to get rid of some of these lines. I keep drawing here. I'll leave that one, which shows an extended pullback. Now, you have to remember that I said that we were going to talk about getting into these pre-election zones. Okay, that puts us right in here. Technically, it puts us right into these zones here. So what I'm looking at again, guys, is I'm looking at a pullback potentially down into this 501 area. Possibly, let's call it, I'll just move this up here. Let's call this 496 to 504. And this would be our pullback area. And this would be our potential to set an initial buy trigger. Then I'm looking for a secondary low back over here as a breakdown pattern. Now, we will likely, just so you know, see this rotation as an excess phase peak pattern. So you can see we had that kind of a roll up, a flagging here, and then a breakdown into consolidation, and then rolling down to an ultimate low. Oh, as well, we're going to end up with a rally up, pullback, flagging into this area. And now this breakdown will cause us to move into consolidation and then eventually down to the ultimate low. So I'm going to change the color of all these because it's too light. There we go. So again, we're setting up multiple excess phase peak patterns. And where we're at right now is that we are in the consolidation phase of the yellow, and we are setting up what's likely to become flagging into the anchor low here around December. So remember, we're looking for kind of an anchor low. Let me find out here. This is December 31st. So I've got to redraw this. let me redraw this because this is close, but not quite there. Okay, not quite there. Better if I draw it again so I can show you what's going on. So we are going to be looking at a peak prior to December, a moderate little peak. So probably right around in this area, followed by a low near December. This will be our consolidation low. So we'll roll up in this area and then break down into our consolidation low and then roll up into our January end of year peak and then roll down into the January 20th low. So that looks more legitimate. Remember, this will be a big consolidation range and then a breakdown. So now with this little yellow guy moves down into consolidation here and then a breakdown towards an ultimate low right down in here. And that's our little yellow guy. So understand these excess phase peak patterns play out as layers. They're very clean when they work, but they play out as layers. Okay. So now let's take a look at gold and silver. And by the way, we are looking at a topping pattern here, moving into a gap potential on Friday in trending mode. Then we get counter trend breakaway, rally mode, and then carryover. And that's again puts us right before the Christmas. So remember, we're looking at a low here, potentially before Christmas, moving into a base bottom. Remember, we don't have any trading on Christmas. Then we move into a momentum rally inside breakaway, and then we get the top at the end of the year, moving down into a bottom phase, possibly an inside pause day, and then we get the breakaway down bar. That's when I think we're moving down into this real slide. So understand that after January 1st, we start to move into a real solid, downward momentum slide. And I'm pretty sure that this is going to be, not what most people expect. We're going to probably be sliding downward after the first of the year. Okay, gold and silver rallying a bit, or were rallying last I looked after this little base bottom. Gold and silver are really kind of struggling here to find a move. Silver's broken below this low. I don't recommend anybody get too involved in these right now. We've got to kind of flush out this move. Silver down here at 29 and a half, roughly 29.6, is really, not what I expected. I expected this roll back to the upside, but this big deflation in trend could prompt a very big recovery. So what happens when you get into panic selling like we had yesterday? We end up typically seeing gold and silver react to the panic selling by moving downward. But gold and silver will sometimes, and very often, then turn into a big hedge instrument, meaning that we will see gold and silver immediately attempt to rebound back to the upside. And that can be extremely positive. So understand that, we could just as easily see kind of this kind of a move coming off of these lows, these panic selling lows. Oops, I think I wanted that. So I'm kind of just watching from the sidelines. At this point, watching from the sidelines. I don't, we need to see some bigger move. We've obviously established a new lower low. We've rebounded off of these double bottoms. I'm not overly aggressive in gold and silver right now. And to be honest with you, like I said, we need to be patient. We need to see how this plays out. But ultimately, I do believe that metals are moving higher. This is a big flush out in market trend right now. So you got to be patient. You got to wait for it. Okay, and now we'll take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin collapsed into a downward cycle phase. I drew these yesterday. I found it quite interesting that Bitcoin moved right into my little consolidation range right here on the lows yesterday. I think we're playing out in a consolidation channel here. And this consolidation channel will also set up more than likely a larger excess phase peak pattern, possibly like this. What the heck? Let's use our light yellow so you can see it. So when we get into this larger excess phase peak pattern, the next big move, guys, is going to be a larger breakdown into a consolidation range, potentially down here, into an ultimate low, potentially somewhere down here. So you notice how the current consolidation range, which is right here for the purple, that's our consolidation range for the purple, leads to a larger consolidation range for the yellow, and then leads to an ultimate low down here. So we're going to just see how this plays out, because this is the completed pattern. Okay. And then again, as you're probably well aware, we can invalidate at any point. So we can invalidate to the upside here if we rally above these recent highs up here. We can invalidate down here by rallying above these highs. We can invalidate down here by rallying above these highs. So we could invalidate at any point in time. We have not yet. It is still playing out. We have not invalidated. So I am expecting a sideways rally phase here in Bitcoin, creating this yellow flagging. Let me make this a little brighter. I'll make this bright orange. Bright orange. So see, I'm expecting this flagging in between. I gotta make this darker. Just not enough contrast. So I'm expecting this Bitcoin to move into this kind of a rally phase up into probably Friday and then break down. That's going to give us a move right into December and consolidating right over in here until December, right before Christmas. So that gives you a pretty good idea of what I see happening in Bitcoin. And I think I think that's a pretty good breakdown level. So you've got, maybe a couple more hours of count them out. So this is a 2-hour chart, 2, 4. So roughly till today at about midnight. This is New York time, I believe. So about midnight New York time, I think you're going to, between now and then, you're going to probably get a rally, a moderate push upward, rolling into a peak. And then I think the bottom falls out. We start to move down into this Saturday at around 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock on, well, maybe let's call it Saturday to Sunday. We're going to probably be looking at this $97,000 to $95,000 area, I think. So again, trying to help you guys out. Let's go get some. Go back here to the SPY. I am going to be cautiously looking at some quick little trades this morning, trying to catch this little topping pattern, this rally upward. I don't suggest you guys get too married to an upward trend right now. I think we're rolling into this top fairly early this morning, probably by about 10 or 11 o'clock New York time. And I think we're going to roll downward. So we're going to, longer term, I'm still biased to the downside. I just may try to grab a couple of quick long or call option trades, scalping trades early in the morning. Okay, guys, talk to you later.